Good evening, and welcome, dear friend, to Whispered Wisdom. Tonight, we embark on a journey, not of striving, but of yielding. Not of controlling, but of trusting. We are going to learn the profound and liberating secret of surrender. For your entire life, you have been taught to fight, to plan, to control. You have been the captain of a small boat, paddling furiously against the current of a great river, convinced that your personal effort is the only thing that can bring you to your desired destination. You have a voice in your head, a constant companion, that tells you what you like and what you don't like. It says, "This is good, go towards it." And it says, "This is bad, avoid it at all costs." And you have spent your life listening to this voice, believing it is the ultimate source of wisdom. This constant judging, this constant effort, this constant resistance has been exhausting. But what if this voice is not wisdom? What if it is simply fear? What if your personal preferences are not a map to happiness, but a cage that limits your experience? And what if the great river, the river of life itself, is not a random, chaotic force, but an intelligent, benevolent current that is trying to carry you towards a destiny far greater than anything your small, fearful mind could ever imagine? Tonight, we will conduct a sacred experiment. We will gently, lovingly, lay down the oars. We will quiet the voice of preference. And we will learn to trust the river. So begin now, by preparing to surrender. Find that perfect position of comfort and stillness. Allow your body to feel fully supported, completely safe, and held in the gentle current of this present moment. Let us start with a single, conscious breath. A breath of release. Inhale slowly and deeply through your nose, and imagine you are breathing in a pure, liquid light of trust. Feel it fill your lungs, your chest, and your entire being with a sense of calm acceptance. Now, exhale with a long, gentle sigh through your mouth. And as you exhale, release the need to control. Release your plans. Release your preferences. Release your fears about the future. Let them all dissolve into the river. Let's do that once more. A deep, nourishing breath in, filling yourself with the peace of simply being. And a long, slow, complete breath out, surrendering to the perfect unfolding of your life. Feel a gentle, soothing wave of relaxation begin at the very crown of your head. Imagine it as a soft, warm current, trickling down, calming your mind, and releasing the grip of all your plans and strategies. This wave of peace flows over your eyes, allowing them to rest from the strain of looking for problems, and preparing them to see the perfection in what is. It flows over your cheeks and your jaw, releasing the tension of forcing your will upon the world. This warmth now flows down your neck and into your shoulders, melting away the immense burden of being the sole architect of your life. Feel your shoulders drop, feel them become heavy and profoundly relaxed. This beautiful wave of relaxation flows down your arms and into your hands. Your hands, which may have been clenched, gripping the oars of control, can now soften and open. Feel them become warm, at ease, and at peace. The wave of relaxation now moves down your spine, vertebrae by vertebrae, spreading through your back, your chest, and into your abdomen. Feel your stomach soften. Feel your breath become deep and regular. You are safely flowing with the current of life. This warmth flows through your hips, your thighs, your knees, and all the way down to the tips of your toes. Your entire body is now in a state of profound peace and receptive stillness. Your mind is now quiet. The loud, fearful voice of the ego is drifting into a peaceful slumber. And in this stillness, the door to your subconscious mind, the part of you that is one with the river of life, is now open. The story you are about to absorb is not just a story. It is a transmission of a new way of being. Your subconscious will understand its message perfectly. You are not just learning about surrender, you are learning to become surrender itself. Trust in this process. There is nothing you need to do, but float, listen, and relax. The river knows exactly where it is going. The story of this experiment began with a young man, a seeker, sitting alone in the quiet woods. He had been on a deep spiritual journey, trying to quiet the noisy, neurotic voice in his head, the voice of his personal self. One day, he made a radical vow. He decided that he would stop listening to that voice. He would stop consulting his personal preferences. Instead, he would accept whatever life placed in front of him. He would treat the universe as his teacher. Every event, every person, every problem that appeared before him would be seen not as an obstacle, but as a spiritual lesson, an opportunity for growth sent by the river of life itself. His experiment was simple: whatever life brought to his door, he would say yes. He would surrender his personal will and trust the flow. At first, the tests were small. A student he didn't particularly like asked for a ride. The voice in his head screamed, "No. It's inconvenient. I don't feel like it." But he remembered his vow. He quieted the voice, and he said yes. And in that simple act, a small miracle occurred. The drive was pleasant. A connection was made. The resistance was far more painful than the act itself. He learned the first great lesson of surrender: the voice of your ego is almost always based on fear. It is trying to keep you in a small, comfortable, predictable box. But your growth, your joy, your destiny, are all waiting for you just outside that box. Let's feel into this now. In your mind's eye, think of a small situation in your own life where you have felt resistance. A task you have been procrastinating on. A conversation you have been avoiding. Feel the voice of your ego, making excuses, creating fears. Now, imagine gently putting that voice aside, like a crying child you are soothing. And imagine simply taking the first small step. Imagine saying yes to the moment. Feel the energy that is liberated when you stop fighting. Feel the peace that comes from aligning yourself with the flow of reality, instead of resisting it. This is the beginning of the experiment. You are learning to distinguish between the fearful voice of your ego and the silent, intelligent flow of life. I am now learning to recognize the fearful voice of my personal self. I see its resistance, and I no longer give it my power. I choose to say yes to the opportunities life presents me. I trust that the flow of life is my greatest teacher. As the experiment continued, the challenges grew larger, and the rewards became more magnificent. Life began to present opportunities that his personal mind would have rejected as absurd. He was a man who wanted only solitude and meditation, yet a university offered him a job teaching. The voice screamed, "No! You are not a teacher. You are not qualified." But life had brought it to him. So he surrendered. He said yes. And he discovered he had a profound gift for teaching. People began to gather around him, and soon, they needed a place to meditate. Life presented the opportunity to build a small temple in the woods. The voice screamed, "No! You are not a builder. You don't know anything about construction." But life had brought it to him. So he surrendered. He said yes. And with the help of others, a beautiful temple was built. Then, life brought him an early computer. He knew nothing about them. But he surrendered to the opportunity to learn. This simple yes led him, step by step, into the world of software development. At every stage, his personal mind, his ego, had a plan, a small, limited, fear-based plan. But the plan of the universe was always infinitely greater, more creative, and more expansive. Life was not trying to give him what he wanted. It was trying to give him what he needed in order to grow into the highest version of himself. This is the second great lesson of surrender: life is not your enemy. It is your partner in creation. Your only job is to get your small, personal self out of the way, so that this magnificent creative force can flow through you. Think now of your own life. Think of the times you have been presented with an unexpected detour. A door that closed. A path that opened that you did not expect. Your ego may have labeled these events as bad or wrong. But what if they were not wrong? What if they were redirections from the benevolent intelligence of the universe? What if the closed door was protecting you from a path that was not for your highest good? What if the unexpected opening was an invitation to an adventure far grander than your original plan? In your deep, receptive state, you can now begin to reframe your own life story. See every event, even the ones you labeled as failures or setbacks, as part of a perfect, intelligent unfolding. See them as the river, gently but persistently nudging your small boat back into the main current, the current that leads to the great ocean of your true destiny. Feel the profound peace that comes with this perspective. You do not have to figure everything out. You do not have to carry the burden of being the sole creator of your life. Your only job is to stay open, to stay present, and to surrender to the grace of the moment. I now see that my life is a perfect and intelligent unfolding. I release my attachment to my personal plans and preferences. I trust that every event, every challenge, and every opportunity is a gift from the universe for my own growth. I am a willing and joyful partner with the creative force of life. The experiment that began with a simple vow in the woods eventually led to the creation of $1 billion public company. It led to a life of incredible abundance, deep spiritual fulfillment, and profound peace. But the success was not the point. The success was merely the byproduct. The true fruit of the surrender experiment was the inner state it cultivated. The third great lesson is this: the greatest barrier to the flow of life is the stored energy of your past. Every time you have a negative experience that you do not fully process and release, it gets stored in your body, in your heart, as a blockage. These are your samskaras, your emotional wounds. These blockages are like rocks in the riverbed. They disrupt the smooth flow of energy through your being and cause you to constantly recreate the patterns of the past. When you resist life, when you fight against what is happening, you are creating new blockages. You are adding more rocks to the river. When you surrender, when you accept the moment exactly as it is, you allow the energy to flow through you without getting stuck. You are no longer creating new blockages. And even more beautifully, the very act of surrender begins to dissolve the old ones. The river of life, once it is allowed to flow freely, has a natural healing power. It will gently wash over the old, hardened rocks of your past traumas, and over time, it will smooth them down, and eventually, wash them away completely. Your job is not to go digging for rocks. Your job is simply to keep letting go of your resistance in the present moment. Your job is to stay open. The river will do the healing for you. Feel this now. Feel the gentle, healing current of life flowing through you. Imagine it flowing into all the old, wounded places in your heart. It is not a violent force. It is a gentle, persistent, loving presence. And it is dissolving the blockages. It is clearing the channel. You can feel yourself becoming lighter, clearer, more open. I now choose to release my resistance to the present moment. In doing so, I allow the healing energy of life to flow through me, dissolving the stored blockages of my past. I am becoming lighter. I am becoming clearer. I am becoming free. You have done a profound and beautiful work tonight. You have learned the secret of the river. You have learned the power of the vow. You have learned the grace of surrender. You have understood that the fearful voice in your head is not you. You have realized that life is your partner, not your adversary. And you have felt the healing power that is released when you simply let go. These are not just ideas. They are a new way of being, and this way of being has now been seated deep within your subconscious mind. As you drift now into the final, deepest stages of sleep, your subconscious will continue this sacred experiment. It will begin to gently dissolve your lifelong habit of resistance and install a new, automatic response of acceptance and trust. You do not need to do anything. In fact, the less you do, the more powerfully this wisdom will work. You will begin to notice the changes in your waking life. You may find a new sense of calm in the face of challenges. You may find yourself saying yes to opportunities you would have once feared. You may notice that the constant, noisy chatter in your head has become quieter, more distant. You are learning to float. You are learning to trust the river. It knows the way. Sleep now. Drift away on the gentle, silent river of your own magnificent life. The universe is your guide. All is well. Sleep, deep, peaceful sleep. And awaken to the beautiful, effortless grace of surrender.